Yo, what's up, your boy Ghost here, and today I'm bringing you guys another comparison video between the bar and STG. And I wanted to make this comparison because the mid-season update just dropped a few days ago, if you guys have not been made aware. And in that update, they ended up making changes to a lot of weapons and a lot of attachments. And in that update, they ended up actually buffing the bar and STG, if you actually believe it or not. And BREN ended up receiving a nerf. Now, I have been hearing that the BREN is still really, really good. I can't confirm that because I haven't used it. But if that's the case, then maybe this video might not matter because the BREN might still be king. But I would like to think that the BREN is, nerfed enough to the point where we could use these weapons as like potential meta replacements, and that's the hope. But before we do get into this comparison, I want to say, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're really close to 1.9K, which would then mean we're going to be 100 subs away from the big 2,000. And also, man, I want to give you guys a big thanks for the last video, because that last video did really, really, really good, and so thank you guys for that. But yeah, man, that being said though, let's get into the comparison. And here we have the recoil pattern for the bar, and I gotta be honest, I'm not entirely sure how much different this recoil pattern is than from the one before the mid-season update. I want to say it's essentially the same because that's what it was before the update. Like, it was a straight line, and believe it or not, even with that, they ended up actually giving this a recoil buff, which is kind of crazy to think about, because as you guys saw in that recoil pattern, like, it seems very easy to control. It literally has one of the most simple recoil patterns in the game, and the slow fire rate makes this gun not even have that much recoil in the first place. But it does have the occasional, like, it's hard to explain. Like, when you shoot this gun, it has like this bobble with the sight, specifically the 2.5. It might have it with other sights too, but it has this bobble, and I thought, if anything, they were gonna just make it so it didn't bobble as much, and they ended up just like giving it less recoil with the attachments and just the gun overall. Now, I won't give you guys specifics on the patch notes, because I gotta listen. The patch notes that they end up coming out with in Warzone, it's just very, very annoying. Like, they sit here and put assault rifle Charlie, assault rifle Delta. Like, bro, I don't know what this means, bro. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and like try to figure it out. It's a goddamn maze in this patch notes. But I will put the patch notes down in the description or in the pinned comment, so you guys could go look at it. But I could say for sure that the attachments, and I'm not sure about the bar, but I know for sure the attachments, and ended up getting a buff. So recoil control is a little bit easier now, and it was definitely noticeable. I'm not gonna lie, it's not too noticeable than what it was before the update. Like, before the update, I would say it didn't have the craziest recoil. It was just more so of the bobble, and in this update they didn't really get rid of the bobble, but the control is, it's definitely there. I would say it definitely feels a little bit easier, but I mean, overall it kind of feels the same. But it just makes it a little bit easier. And to be honest, like, it's kind of a bit weird because this weapon really is really good, and they already buffed it as is, and it's very powerful. So it's kind of like they're kind of setting it up to be one of the next metas, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if they toned it down in the next few updates. Like, they might end up readjusting it and balancing it out in these next few updates, just because I think they went a little overboard in this update specifically, especially with a lot of these other weapons. They just went completely overboard, and I could definitely see them reverting what they already did, because this bar, listen, I just think they should just balance out the bobble and slightly reduce the damage, so this weapon could be be top tier. I mean, it's still gonna be top tier, but I just feel like they didn't change what they needed to change. But regardless, it's still a really good weapon. And with that being said, let's get into the STG. And here we have the recoil pattern for the STG, and again, I'm not sure how much different this is from before the mid-season update. It looks very similar to what it was, but I will say that this weapon also received a recoil buff, and the attachments received a buff to make the recoil control a lot easier. And I don't want to toot my own horn here, but in one of my old STG comparison videos, I was like, if they're going to ever buff this weapon, they would have to do the recoil. And behold, they ended up doing the recoil, which is phenomenal. And this gun, definitely, you can notice the difference to what it once was. And it just makes this weapon like a much more reliable weapon than than what it was before this update. And you know, now, man, I actually really do enjoy using this weapon a lot more because it's just so much easier to hit shots at a longer range. And this weapon is like pretty good in damage as well. It's not the craziest, definitely not like on the bar or even BREN level, but it's definitely, you know, when you're able to just be accurate, it just makes a weapon so good. Like the automaton, which we'll actually talk more about in the next video. I think that's gonna be my next video, because the automaton, if you guys have not seen my video before this, man, that gun is special, bro. Like, it's back. But anyways, man, but the first type that I want to talk about, and actually this is the good thing about them only touching the recoil and not necessarily like damage values or damage range or anything like that, is that the stats from before the update are still relevant to today's day, because they didn't touch anything damage wise, which is great. But anyways, for the fire rate, we have 400 RPM for the bar and then 600 RPM for the STG. Now, I will say that 400 RPM is probably one of the slowest fire rates that I've covered on this channel in terms of comparisons. I think the closest thing to it is like a 500. The 400 is actually pretty slow, and I would definitely recommend you guys experimenting with fire rate attachments on the bar. I used to use the recoil booster on the bar back in the day. Or not even back in the day, just like before when I first started using it. I don't know what made me switch over to the suppressor, but that's what I ended up rocking. This is what I'm rocking right now. But for you guys, I would definitely experiment with those fire rate attachments, because those fire rate attachments can help this gun reach its full potential. Like right now, I feel like it's getting held back a little bit by my class setup, and I felt like if I had 1 or 2 fire rate attachments, the gun would be just like significantly like just better. And then as for the STG, I'm not going to say the same for that. I don't have fire rate attachments that I know of on my gun, and I don't think it needs it. 600 RPM for AR isn't really that bad, and you know, I don't really feel myself getting outgunned by fire rate that often. It's more so just like damage or situations, so you know, I'm not really going to recommend or I mean, you can if you just experiment, you know what I'm saying? Just experiment is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, man, moving on over to the damage for the bar and STG. For the first one, it's going to be the bar for 0 to 36 meters. We have 60 damage to the head, 44 to the neck, chest, stomach, and chimneys. So already off the jump, the bar has some crazy damage. And then for the STG, we have for 0 to 31 meters, 45 damage to the head and neck, 33 to the chest, and then 30 to the stomach and the chimneys. And as you guys see, the damage difference between both of these is significant. And in terms of comparison to the BREN, the STG is still significantly weaker than the BREN. And then the bar, I would say now with the damage drop off nerf for that BREN, I think the bar actually is stronger now than the BREN. But again, at the end of the day, it's the fire. The fire is still something that the BREN is going to have over the bar. And actually, I'm pretty sure the STG and BREN share the same fire rate with 600, or very close. The BREN is either 600 or like 650, if I remember correctly. But anyways, man, moving over to the longer ranges for 36 meters and above for the bar, we have 46 damage to the head, 34 to the neck, chest, stomach, and extremity. So even then, like, this is still like stronger than the STG's close range damage, except for the neck. The neck gets significantly hit in this compared to the STG. And actually, moving on over to the longer range for the STG, 31 meters and above, 39 damage to the head and neck, 28 to the chest, 26 to the stomach, 26 to the extremities. This is still, you know, in favor of the bar, but it's not as crazy, or at least in my opinion, it's not as crazy as it was in the close range categories, even with the STG having an advantage in the neck department, 39 to 34. And I mean, this gun definitely has the merit to be able to be the next top gun in the game, or one of the top guns in the game. And I'm really hoping that, even so, with the rumors that I've been hearing and what I've been seeing, that the BREN is still pretty solid. I'm hoping that people just kind of like leave it in the past. Like, I'm tired of seeing the BREN. I'm sure a lot of you guys are tired of seeing the BREN. I'm just hoping like guns like these two, or the automaton, or just any other AR, maybe even the Cooper Carbine, just can just, you know what I mean, just put away this BREN, man. We're all done with this gun. It's definitely a very boring meta, in my opinion. Yeah, I hope so. Because we all know that MP40 didn't get changed, which, if you guys saw my video before the last one, where I said that MP40 was going to get nerfed, yeah, I mean, they nerfed it, but they only nerfed hip fire accuracy, which is like something that, yeah, it's great. I mean, some people do hip fire, but it's not what we needed. But it is what it is. And I will be making a comparison on the MP40 against the Weldon eventually. I think, you know, I still gotta unlock the damn weapon, but you know, just stay tuned, man, because even with, I feel like the lackluster and changes that I would have hoped for, I'm still figuring it out, man. But with that being said, though, man, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about both of these weapons and if they're the next meta for you. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Peace.